In a world where everything seems to follow a set pattern, we often find ourselves grappling with the uncomfortable reality that some people may appear completely devoid of emotion, almost soulless. Have you ever encountered someone in your life, someone who seemed like a ghost of their former self, walking through the world with an emotional absence that left you feeling baffled? What if these individuals are not merely misunderstood, but perhaps they are grappling with an internal existence that we can't quite see? This unsettling thought invites deeper exploration into the essence of consciousness and being. What does it mean to have a soul? Is it the vibrancy of feelings, the connections we cherish, or the very essence of our existence? Dr. Elisabeth Kübler-Ross, a groundbreaking figure in the realm of psychiatry, has profoundly influenced our understanding of human emotions, particularly surrounding the concepts of grief and loss. Her work illuminated the wide spectrum of emotional responses we encounter during life's most challenging moments. Kübler-Ross introduced us to her 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Each stage in its own right reflects the complexity of human emotional experience. As we embark on this journey, we're compelled to question the conventional wisdom that surrounds our interactions with soullessness. Do we view emotional detachment as a flaw, or could it be an effective coping mechanism? In challenging our perceptions, we open the door to understanding the inner battles faced by those who may appear emotionally absent. When you perceive someone as soulless, what emotions bubble up to the surface within you? Anger? Frustration? Sadness? These feelings often illuminate our own vulnerabilities and prompt us to reflect on the places in our lives where we felt similar emptiness. If you can relate to those moments, you're not alone. Many of us have brushed shoulders with soullessness in one form or another, be it within ourselves or through those we encounter in our daily lives. Each interaction is a chance to peer into the complexities of human connection. Kübler-Ross's insights serve as a reminder that our initial reactions to emotional distances are not mere reflections of flaw, but rather insights into our shared humanity. The yearning for connection can provoke a myriad of emotions, some comforting, others chaotic. But rather than shying away from discomfort, we should ask ourselves, could our perceptions of soullessness be a mirrored reflection of how we navigate our emotional landscapes? As we dissect these interactions, we must consider not only the plight of the soulless individual, but also our emotional responses to them. How many times have we found ourselves rolling our eyes at someone whose emotional disengagement feels like a personal affront? This is not just about them. It speaks to our struggles for understanding and acceptance in a world where connection often escapes us. Dr. Kübler-Ross encouraged us to embrace the intricacies of our emotional experiences, to recognize that everyone's journey is laden with pain that often goes unseen. When we ask ourselves about our feelings of anger or frustration toward those who appear detached, we peel back the layers of our own emotional experiences. In doing so, we may uncover the raw truth that sometimes our own expectations contribute to our suffering. So consider your circles. Are there people in your life who have felt emotionally distant? How have your emotions shaped your perception of them? In recognizing these feelings, no matter how uncomfortable, we start to question the very foundations of our understanding of human interactions. If you are seeking the truth, subscribe now and activate notifications to unravel the complexities of the human mind. Understanding the phenomenon of soullessness may very well lead us to a deeper appreciation of ourselves and ultimately foster compassion for both ourselves and those we encounter. Together, let's explore these questions further, seeking to understand the dichotomy of the human experience that we both avoid and yet deeply crave. As we delve deeper into the emotional labyrinth surrounding soullessness, we encounter 2 potent emotions, denial and anger. These reactions often bubble up when we encounter someone who appears emotionally vacant. Think back to a moment when you felt an overwhelming urge to reject or distance yourself from someone who seemed devoid of spirit. Why do these feelings arise? What do they reveal about us and our desires for connection? Denial, as outlined by Dr. Elisabeth Kübler-Ross in her Stages of Grief, serves as a mechanism to shield ourselves from uncomfortable realities. When faced with someone who seems soulless, this denial may manifest as a refusal to accept their emotional disconnection. We might convince ourselves that we simply can't understand them, or worse, we might dismiss them altogether. This reflects our instinctive need. Elisabeth Kübler-Ross, in her Stages of Grief, serves as a mechanism to shield ourselves from uncomfortable realities. When faced with someone who seems soulless, this denial may manifest as a refusal to accept their emotional disconnection. We might convince ourselves that we simply can't understand them, or worse, we might dismiss them altogether. This reflects our instinctive need to cling to beliefs about human interaction, that everyone should exhibit some level of emotional engagement. However, what happens when we encounter someone who disrupts this belief? While denial can feel like a protective armor, it can also isolate us further. It allows us to slip into a narrative where we view the soulless individual as other, instead of recognizing the shared human condition that binds us. This leads to the duality of anger, an intense emotional response emerging from both a place of frustration with them and a discontent with ourselves. When we observe emotional disengagement, it often stirs our own fears about inadequacy in forming connections. After all, if this individual can exist in emotional isolation, what does it say about our efforts to forge meaningful relationships? Let's think about a time you felt angry towards someone who seemed emotionally withdrawn. Did you direct that anger towards them, or was it partly rooted in your frustrations with your own emotional struggles? What if this anger could serve as a catalyst for introspection? Instead of viewing it solely as negativity aimed at the soulless, we might recognize anger as a prompt to explore our emotional states, an opportunity to learn more about our own connection needs. Kübler-Ross encouraged us to process our feelings and recognize that everyone around us is on their own journey, often battling internal demons that are invisible to us. The unmet expectations we place on others frequently reflect our personal struggles and desires for deeper connectivity. How often do we project our own fears and anxieties onto those who seem disengaged? In essence, could it be that our anger is a sign of our longing for understanding, for connection in an otherwise chaotic world? This lens invites us to ask critical questions about how we navigate our emotions in relation to those around us. Are we reacting from a place of fear, or are we opening ourselves to understand the complexities of another's pain? The moments we perceive as soullessness may carry unexpressed grief, trauma, or fatigue, emotions that can paralyze rather than liberate. In these contemplations, we begin to see the nuances in emotional disconnection. Sometimes, the people we deem soulless might be temporarily sheltering their spirits in an effort to cope with overwhelming burdens. Instead of feeling anger towards them, can we respond with curiosity? What if we allowed ourselves to wonder about their stories, to seek understanding rather than react with emotions that create distance? Reflecting on your own experiences, consider this. Have you felt denial or anger in relation to someone who seemed distant to you? How can these feelings transform into a path of empathy and deeper connection? We have the power to shift our emotional reactions into opportunities for genuine understanding. Leave a comment below with your thoughts. How does analyzing these feelings change your perspective on those around you? By engaging in this transformative process, we embrace a fuller understanding of what it means to be human, where emotional connections can ebb and flow, sometimes becoming tangled in the complexities of life. As we navigate these responses, we allow ourselves to emerge more capable of compassion, not just for others, but for our own emotional journeys as well. Stay tuned as we explore how these emotions shape our lives in the next segment of our discussion and prepare ourselves for a shift in perspective that could redefine our experiences and the way we interact with the world around us. As we move forward, we arrive at a crucial juncture, the negotiation trap. When faced with emotional disconnection, we often find ourselves negotiating our feelings, attempting to balance our pain with the societal expectations that come with interpersonal relationships. This is where the soullessness we perceive in others can transform into a complex dance of emotional negotiation that impacts both them and us. Have you considered how, in these negotiations, we might be suppressing our own true selves to maintain a facade of normalcy, appearing robotic in our interactions? The cycle of negotiation unfolds as we strive to meet our own needs while catering to the expectations of others. We might feel an urge to mask our grief or fear, presenting a version of ourselves that aligns with what we believe others wish to see. In this way, we become emotionally disjointed. Part of us longs to connect, while another part feels the need to maintain emotional distance. This is where the phenomenon of soullessness becomes especially poignant. When we deny our own feelings, we may evoke the very emotional disengagement we despise in others. Reflect for a moment. How often have you felt compelled to present a polished version of yourself at work, school, or social gatherings? Do you find that you sometimes abandon your authentic emotions in order to fit in or avoid conflict? This emotional negotiation can lead us into a cycle of self-suppression that not only depletes our vitality, but also contributes to the soullessness we perceive in those around us. The more we internalize the belief that we must hide our true feelings, the more we create an environment where souls seem to drift in the shadows, hidden beneath our meticulously crafted facades. Kübler-Ross highlighted the stages of grief, but it's worth noting that our interpersonal relationships often mimic these stages. We practice denial when we dismiss our true feelings, pushing them aside in fear of vulnerability. Anger emerges as we wrestle with the discomfort of being emotionally disconnected from our true selves. We bargain with ourselves and others, attempting to negotiate a sense of normalcy while fighting against feelings of inadequacy or loneliness. Depression, then, looms in the background, creating a cycle that can feel almost inescapable. Yet, could it be that by recognizing this cycle, we can break free from its hold? Consider this. When we communicate openly about our emotional struggles, we create space for genuine connection. When we acknowledge our own disconnection, we give others permission to do the same. Vulnerability can pave the way to understanding each other better, transforming our emotional negotiations into bridges of connection rather than barriers of silence. How often do you reflect on your own negotiation strategies in relationships? Do you find yourself entering conversations with a script, carefully crafting what you'll say to keep the peace? Are there parts of yourself that you suppress, leading to a sense of disconnection, not only from others, but from your own being? Recognizing these patterns empowers us to reclaim our emotional authenticity. Imagine a scenario where you choose to express your feelings more openly, perhaps by sharing your struggles with a trusted friend or family member. Rather than fearing their judgment, you might just find that they too can relate. In sharing our vulnerabilities, we dismantle the illusion of soullessness prevalent in societal expectations. The act of seeing and being seen holds incredible transformative power, creating profound emotional connections that resonate with our true selves. What does your personal negotiation strategy look like when confronting emotional disconnection? Take a moment to ponder. Can you identify a specific instance where you masked your emotions to fit in? By nurturing our authentic selves, we allow the complexities of our emotions to come alive in our relationships. Each encounter becomes an opportunity for deeper connection, a chance to explore the richness of both our own experiences and those of others. As we continue our discussion, let us reflect on these dynamics, embracing our emotional landscapes as we navigate the intricacies of human connection. Transforming our negotiation tactics can lead to a newfound understanding, allowing you to foster bonds stronger than the soullessness we sometimes perceive. Stay with us as we delve deeper into our emotional journeys, and together, let's unearth the layers that compose our true selves. As we explore the depths of emotional connection, we inevitably confront another potent aspect of our experience, depression. Dr. Elisabeth Kübler-Ross identified this stage as a weighty part of the grieving process. But depression can also weave its way into our daily lives in profound and often insidious ways. Have you ever found yourself feeling inexplicably heavy, as if the burden of the world rests on your shoulders, making it difficult to connect with others? When faced with soullessness or emotional detachment from others, depression can be a response both to our own struggles and our perceived distance from those around us. Consider the moments when you've encountered someone who appears emotionally vacant, perhaps a friend who used to shine with enthusiasm and now seems lost in a haze of melancholy. How does their disconnection affect you? Does it evoke pity, frustration, or perhaps even fear that you too could succumb to such a darkness? These feelings are natural, but they often lead us into a cycle where we shy away from the very people who may be crying out for connection. We begin to avoid them, not just to protect ourselves, but also to avoid confronting the uncomfortable truth that all humans are susceptible to feelings of despair. Kübler-Ross's insights guide us in understanding that depression is not a sign of weakness or failure. Rather, it is a legitimate emotional state that many go through. In our fast-paced world, there is often pressure to appear strong and unaffected. However, acknowledging depression can be vital in breaking through the facade of soullessness we sometimes witness in ourselves and others. Have you ever brushed off your feelings of sadness or torment, convincing yourself that everyone else has it worse or I shouldn't complain? This self-neglect can contribute to an emotional disconnect, creating a barrier between your true self and the world. Take a moment to reflect on your own experiences with depression. Have there been times you felt isolated in your feelings, as though no one could understand the weight on your heart? In these moments, it's crucial to acknowledge that seeking help is not a weakness, but an invitation to reclaim your emotional landscape. By embracing our vulnerabilities, we can foster deeper connections with those who might be feeling the same way. Imagine reaching out to a friend who seems distant and asking, "Are you okay? It seems like something is weighing you down." In doing so, you open the door not just for them to share, but also for you to express your own struggles. Sometimes, simply sharing the truth of our feelings can provide an incredible relief and even inspire those around us to do the same. Yet, the normalization of emotional expressiveness is often stifled by societal expectations. We have been conditioned to believe that admitting our struggles with depression may render us weak. However, consider what happens when we reframe this narrative. By openly discussing our lows, we begin to humanize our experiences. When we talk about our struggles, we create space for connection and understanding, dismantling the illusion of that soulless individual we see in ourselves and others. As you reflect on depression, consider whether you've ever equated feeling low with being less than. Can you identify moments where you've been afraid to share your pain for fear of judgment? Or where you've chosen silence over vulnerability? By engaging with our feelings of depression, we not only honor our emotional experiences, but cultivate a space for others to join in. When we permit ourselves to feel and express sadness, we pave the way for countless others, inviting them to shed their shields and embrace the fullness of the human experience, even the challenging aspects. This shift can transform solitude into solidarity, mitigating the isolation associated with depression. Let us not forget that confronting depression is not a linear process. It might ebb and flow like the tide. It's okay to experience these changes, and recognizing this can encourage us to remain open, both with ourselves and others. As we continue our journey, consider how depression shapes the narrative of those who seem soulless and what it may reveal about ourselves. By showing compassion to others navigating their own dark moments, we strengthen our own resilience and can begin forging deeper emotional connections that mitigate feelings of despair. Join us on this journey of understanding as we strive to embrace both the light and dark within us all, fostering a sense of community that celebrates authenticity and emotional depth. As we progress deeper into understanding the human experience, we arrive at a pivotal moment: acceptance. This stage, often overlooked in our haste to sweep emotions under the rug, carries transformative power. Acceptance doesn't mean we simply resign ourselves to the pain. Rather, it invites us to embrace our experiences, both the joyful and the haunting. Are you willing to explore what acceptance can mean for you, not as an end point, but as an essential part of the ongoing dance of life? In the context of emotional disconnection, acceptance can be particularly liberating. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean. You might feel an uneasy tension as waves crash before you, signifying both chaos and calm. When we choose to accept the waves, recognizing they are a part of the sea, we begin to understand the rhythms of life. Much like the ocean, our emotional experiences ebb and flow. Fighting the tides will only exhaust us. Instead, when we accept our feelings, whether they be joy, sadness, or anything in between, we allow ourselves to flow rather than resist. Reflect on a time when you finally accepted a situation that had been troubling you. What did it feel like? Was there a sense of relief? Acceptance often opens doors to new perspectives, allowing us to see past the immediate discomfort of our emotional landscape. In the case of soullessness, when we come to terms with our own emotional distance, we cultivate compassion for those around us who might also be feeling lost. Acceptance can be challenging. It might surface feelings of regret or disappointment, reminding us of what we wish had been different. However, this acknowledgement is crucial. Think back over your relationships. Is there a friendship or family bond that has changed? When was the last time you felt disconnection from someone you care about? Could acceptance of those shifts open a path for healing? For many, the transition toward acceptance may feel like letting go of a tightly held expectation. It requires us to confront the realities of our relationships and the inevitability of change. Are there unspoken words you wish to express to someone distant in your life? By accepting the state of your connection, whether it's strained or profoundly altered, you might find strength in vulnerability. This often requires an inner dialogue about your feelings. Consider how the act of acceptance impacts both you and the soulless individual in your life. By recognizing your own emotional journey, have you created space for them to share their burdens as well? Acceptance is less about making peace with pain and more about fostering understanding with ourselves and others. The messages we transmit during moments of acceptance can echo and reverberate, leading to profound change in our emotional dialogues. When we encounter someone who feels detached, we might invite them to step forward into vulnerability by showing our own willingness to accept our reality. This simple act of sharing might remind them that they are not alone in their journey. Amid our exploration, let's delve into the reflections of acceptance. Are there parts of your story that remain unresolved or unacknowledged? Are there emotions you've tucked away for too long? Acceptance asks us to breathe life into these hidden aspects and recognize that they contribute to the rich tapestry of our experiences. Returning to Dr. Kübler-Ross, acceptance serves not only as an emotional endpoint, but as a broader lens that shapes how we view life itself. In welcoming our circumstances, we cultivate resilience and capacity for empathy. Acceptance transforms our relationship not just with the world, but also with ourselves, weaving a narrative of interconnectedness. The journey toward acceptance may not yield immediate transformation, but with each conscious choice to recognize and embrace our emotional realities, we build the foundation for deeper connections. When we accept ourselves, we give others permission to do the same, releasing the grip of soullessness that threatens the beauty of human connection. Take a moment to ask yourself, what areas of your life are calling for acceptance? How can you begin to acknowledge these aspects as part of your journey? As we close this chapter on acceptance, let us carry forward the lessons learned from embracing our emotions. This path is one of connection, compassion, and authenticity, an ongoing journey that shapes the very core of who we are. As we continue with us, as we explore the final components of this exploration, moving toward a deeper understanding of not just human existence, but the boundless capacity of the human heart. As we embark on this final chapter of our exploration, we turn our gaze toward the transformative power of connection. Each of the emotional stages we have navigated, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, serves as a foundation for understanding the importance of forging deeper connections. Connection is not merely about being in the presence of others. It is about cultivating meaningful relationships that transcend the layers of disconnection we often encounter. But how do we truly connect in a world that often feels fragmented? In examining our human experience, let's consider the analogy of a tapestry. Each thread woven into this fabric represents our individual stories, emotions, and relationships. While some threads may be frayed and others might seem detached, they all contribute to the intricate design that is our shared humanity. Now imagine for a moment that you are standing in front of this tapestry. As you run your fingers over the threads, you begin to recognize that those frayed edges are not imperfections. Rather, they are symbols of resilience and strength. They tell tales of struggle, healing, and the beauty of vulnerability. What threads of connection are present in your life? Are there strands you wish to strengthen or new connections you yearn to weave into your story? Now, more than ever, is the time to reach out and engage. Whether it's a long-lost friend or a neighbor, consider the potential impact of simply embracing a moment of connection, whether through a smile, a conversation, or an invitation to share experiences. Connection flourishes when we practice empathy. Empathy invites us to step into another's shoes and genuinely seek to understand their experiences, even if they differ drastically from our own. Have you ever spoken to someone who felt the weight of the world on their shoulders? In that moment, did you take the time to listen deeply, or were you tempted to fix their problems? It is essential to remember that sometimes being present for another person and allowing them the space to be vulnerable is the greatest gift we can offer. Reflect on your own emotional attachments. Are there relationships where judgment or misunderstanding has contributed to disconnection? As you ponder this, consider how your willingness to engage without preconceived notions may open pathways for deeper connection. When we shift our mindset from wanting to be right to simply being together, we dissolve barriers that may seem insurmountable. Now, as you navigate your daily interactions, how can you bring a spirit of connection into your life? Perhaps it starts with a kindness you can extend, offering support to a coworker or checking in on a family member. These simple acts have the power to ripple through each connection, truly transforming the landscape of your relationships. In the graph of human connections, we often find peaks and valleys. Connections can rise and fall over time, contingent on life's unpredictable nature. However, acknowledging these fluctuations can help you approach relationships with grace and understanding. When we view connections through the lens of empathy and vulnerability, we empower each interaction with sincerity and depth. Understandably, making these changes requires effort and intention, but it's essential to recognize that you are not alone on this journey. Just as you face disconnections and seek significance in your relationships, others around you are navigating their own emotional paths. The sooner we embrace this collective experience, the better equipped each of us will be to foster connections based on understanding and compassion. As you reflect on your journey, ask yourself, how can I cultivate my connections to elevate not only my own emotional state, but also contribute more to those around me? What if each day you committed to one genuine act of connection? How would that cultivate a sense of community in your life? In a world marked by soullessness at times, these connections become lifelines, enabling us not only to survive, but to thrive. Together, we can create vibrant networks of support that replace isolation with solidarity, echoing the importance of authenticity in our existence. As we conclude this exploration of the human experience, let us remember that connection is not a destination, but a continuous journey. It ebbs and flows, yet always calls us to lean in and embrace the transformative potential of our shared humanity. The capacity of the human heart is boundless, ever expansive and evolving. Allow yourself to remain open to this journey of endless discovery. Here, amid the messiness of our lives, lies the profound beauty of connection. Join us as we celebrate our shared emotional landscapes and continue to deepen our understanding of human existence together. As we arrive at the culmination of our exploration into the human experience, it's time to focus on the vital process of healing. Healing is often misunderstood as a complete journey with a definitive ending, an accomplishment that signifies we have overcome our struggles. In truth, healing is an intricate, ongoing journey, much like the connections we forge with others. It's essential to recognize that healing isn't linear. It's a dance filled with steps forward and moments of retreat. Think of a wound and the healing it demands. Initially painful, healing processes transform both the injury and the individual who bears it. Similarly, our emotional wounds require attention, understanding, and patience. As we embark on this journey, we must ask ourselves, what wounds do you carry, whether visible or hidden? Are there past experiences that continue to influence your current relationships? Many times, we mask our deeper wounds to conform to societal expectations or maintain an illusion of strength. Yet acknowledging our pain is the first step toward true healing. Reflecting on the stages introduced by Elisabeth Kübler-Ross, we see that denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance all play vital roles in navigating our healing journey. Can you identify which stage resonates with you most currently? For instance, anger might emerge as a catalyst, urging you to recognize what truly needs healing. Connection is at the heart of the healing process. Healing flourishes in an environment rich with empathy and understanding. When you encounter someone in emotional distress, how do you respond? The greatest gift you can offer might simply be your presence. By actively listening and giving someone space to share their pain, you can create a profound opportunity for healing that resonates deeply. Moreover, ask yourself what role you can play in facilitating healing for those around you. Have you ever shared a moment of vulnerability that not only helped you, but also encouraged another person to confront their pain? These authentic connections are transformative. They remind us of our shared humanity. Healing also requires self-care and self-love. Are you tending to your emotional well-being? Engaging in practices like journaling, meditation, or creative expression can help you peel back the layers of your experiences and address the emotions you have long tucked away. This nurturing of yourself allows for healing and deeper understanding, illuminating the paths across your inner landscape. In this interconnected journey, it's crucial to remember we're all navigating our emotional landscapes. By inviting others into your experience of healing, you extend a lifeline that fosters solidarity. Recognizing that we're all facing our struggles can help forge connections that amplify our resilience. As we near the end of this exploration, let's contemplate the significance of healing in our lives. How can you nurture your healing journey while simultaneously supporting those in your community? Is there someone in your life who could benefit from your understanding and shared experiences? Ultimately, healing is not about erasing our scars. It's about integrating them into our narratives, allowing them to strengthen us. As we navigate this complex journey, may we celebrate the ongoing nature of healing, fostering connections that empower us along the way. We move forward with the understanding that healing can be a communal endeavor. In a world rife with disconnection, it is within these shared healing moments that we discover the true power of empathy and authenticity. Let's continue to engage with our hearts open wide, embracing the shared human experience, recognizing that in our journeys, we find pathways to connection, understanding, and hope for a brighter tomorrow.